morning, everyone. My name is Soledad Tanner. I am the founder and CEO of STC Consulting, which is a business and financial management consulting firm. I help businesses, especially in construction, improve their profit and productivity with services such as CFO on demand, financial management, and business consulting. I am originally from Guayaquil, Ecuador. I'm an engineer by trade, moved to the US 25 years ago, and my background is in supply chain logistics, and I retired from the corporate world and opened my business. Also have an MBA from St. Thomas and post-education at Rice. And my whole deal here is to help all of us are really going through a very difficult time. In Houston has a double whammy because we have also the situation of the oil. And so we need all the help that we can. This presentation was prepared thinking of you. And please write notes, take advantage of a full hour. I'm gonna make it as entertaining as I can possibly do finance and exciting for all of you. So here we go. Number one, what is business financial resiliency? Let's talk about that. Like we go to the gym to build the muscles. There is a muscle that you can build to increase your endurance, your financial resiliency. What is that? It's the ability for you to maintain the standard of living personally and professionally. So when you have a problem, continue with adjustments in a good line, right? Is the muscle that helps us increase the capacity to overcome crises, and that, such as losses of money, losses of sales, and we are in one of the big ones and most unexpected crises that we never even imagined. We were on a route to be a great 2020, and this happens. We also we have to develop the ability to adapt because the market is changing. Every time there is a crisis, there's a Harvey, there's a Katrina, there is war, there is a pandemic. The economy and the needs and the market evolve. So we need to stay alert, watching what the evolution of that is and how we're not gonna go back to the old, we're gonna go forward to a new. So being alert, and while the crisis is happening, so we can see what our clients or potential clients may need. So how do you enhance the ability of this muscle? How can you become more financially resilient and not only survive this crisis, but also thrive during this crisis? Number one, I'm telling you, stay positive. A lot of phenomenal products and services were created in type of crisis. So view challenges in this moment as opportunities to create new products and services or to adapt. Like we all are right now sitting in a Zoom conference where maybe last year we will have never used this product because we were going to HCC. So there are things that are needed now that were not needed before. And if we keep our eyes open and our ears open, we're going to hear the market telling us what they need. Number two, we need to stay focused, determine where we're heading. So we had a strategy in our company. And of course, the market is switching. We just need to review what that was and refresh our mind where we're heading. This is not a 1 month or 1 year. Our companies and our missions are things in the long run. So keep an eye of what your goal was before, adjust it, and keep moving forward. One of the main skills that we need is we need to be flexible. Some of the work that you were doing may no longer happen, but you have new options. Even in moments of uncertainties, keep looking for what those options are. Keep yourself organized. There's no excuse right now, even if we're at home or in our office, not to be organized with our goals, our numbers, our clients, and how we manage our business. And finally, be proactive. Don't wait until somebody knocks on your door. Just keep talking to your clients, keep talking to your employees, keep talking to the people take that first step. No, don't wait for people or opportunities to come your way. Like being in this call is a proactive step. Maybe you learn something new here, and when you end your day, you go, okay, I learned 3 things of this lady, and these are the things I'm gonna do in my business to stay relevant. So I like to talk positive, but it's important to talk about what is a recession, because I hear people throwing the term right and left, and so we can talk, we really need to know what that means. So as a country measures the GDP, which is the gross domestic product, which is the summary of all the goods and services a country trades in a particular time frame. So that's as long as that's the definition. So it's like when you go to the grocery store, you get the sum of all what you have purchased. The same, every country measures the total expense, and it's called the gross domestic product. So we measure how much was the total bill in Q1, and then how much is the total bill in Q2, and if there is a growth between 1 versus 2, then the economy grew. So let's talk about what is happening now. Now, when you have 2 consecutive quarters that had a negative growth, that's when you start having a recession. So what is a recession? Is when the gross domestic product is negative quarter-over-quarter twice. So why is that irrelevant to us? So the first quarter, our GDP was shrunk, so it was smaller by 4.8. But in the first quarter, remember, our January was really good. February was really good. It's only March that we started to have the downturn, right? So that number, when it's calculated, has 2 good months and 1 bad month, right? So that number, it's significant. It's smaller by almost 5%, but it doesn't cover the whole quarter. So now the second quarter of 2020 is the one that is going to have April, May, and June. Yeah, and it's going to have the 3 months that our market was closed. Economists in the U.S. estimate that the market is going to reduce by 30%. So there is going to be a significant reduction of the overall purchases of services in the U.S. And what happens during recessions? Most firms, they don't sell as much as they did before because the market is closed. And now the sales go down, the revenue falls, and there is uncertainty about the future business or contracts or sales that they're going to do later. Now, the good news is the construction market still keeps moving. So you are in a market that it's not going to be as flattened as a restaurant or luxury services. So there is still plenty of volume of work for all of you. So now we know what recession is. So now how do we start the recovery? Okay, great with that concept. So as we move forward, how do we recover? In this particular crisis, the #1 issue to start the recovery is that we obviously contain this public health crisis. Once we contain the public health crisis with vaccines, with regulations in the businesses, with masks, with all the things that we're doing, then the people will start going out, and people will go to restaurants, people will need oil for their gas, people will go start traveling again, and that will make an impact in the economy. The #1 condition to start recovery is that the consumer now feels confident that the new situation is good for them and their family. So that's when we will start the recovering process. So now let's go back straight into your business. How can you recession-proof your business during this time? So here is where you start taking notes if one of these things are a good fit for your business or your particular situation. #1, by far, we need to talk about money. I love talking about money. Money is the best topic. If we can talk about politics, sports, and all those great topics, we can talk about money. We need to get the taboo out of money. We need to talk about positive and negative. We need to remove the emotional attachments to money. Money, you are there to produce money, and you need to know every single month where you are, where your positive and negative are, what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, what you want to continue doing. If for any reason you don't feel comfortable talking about finance, you call me. If for any reason you don't know what to look at, well, take notes here. And if you want more, you call me later. There is no excuse. You can learn in YouTube. You can take a class in HCC. You must talk about finance, and not only you with the paper, but also with your support team, your executive team, your board, whatever form of support you have in your where you sit, and also with your employees. So we will talk all the people that work for you, because the more that they know where your goal is, the more that everyone will pull the cart in the same way, right? So number one, increase your knowledge of finance. I said that there's plenty. There is a SCORE, there's an HCC, there is a bunch of people, even right now, Harvard, everyone is doing free classes. If you're at home, this is the perfect time for you to increase your knowledge, no excuse. And if you don't want to learn because you just really don't like, and there are people that are phenomenal professionals and don't like finance, you know where to find me, Soledad. Okay. So number two, cash is king. We always repeat that. Cash is truly king. So protect your cash flow. Let's check and see if you have an emergency fund for your personal life, but also for your professional, your working capital. Let's see, check and see that how long would you last? How much money do you have? Do you have money to survive for 2 weeks, a month, 3 months, 6 months? How much do you have? So check that. Number three, understand, analyze your financial statements. This is not the job of your CPA. This is the job of you as business owner with your CPA, with your accountant, with your CFO, with whoever. You as the owner of the firm are ultimately responsible to produce the amount of money and profit and productivity that you wish and that your business is capable of. So let's take the work and the power with you and bring all the people that support you. You can bring your lawyer, you can bring your tax advisor, you can be your financial consultant, you can be your CPA, you can bring everyone that you want, that you feel deserves to be in that table. There are 3 financial statements, and we were gonna go into a little detail later, but those are profit and loss statement, a balance sheet, and a cash flow statement. So these are the 3 that you have to have in your folder every month when you do your financial review of your sales, your productivity, whatever type of management review you have to have these 3 in your folder. Watch the bottom line. Obviously, we're going to talk about that. You know, it's good that we sell $1 million or $1 billion, but if you spend $999.99, you're left with 1, and you haven't moved the needle an inch. So it's important. When I talk to my clients, they always, oh, I sold 5 millions and 10 millions. I said, that's phenomenal, but how much was left at the end? Right, because you can sell $3 gazillion, but nothing is left at the end. You didn't do anything. So watch your bottom line, and we're going to talk about budget and forecast. But when you have a good budget and you are going over the expenses, you need to limit the number and the quantity of unbudgeted expenses. So unless it's something new that is coming and benefits and is going to produce revenues. At this time, If your cash flow is tight, take a second look at every one of your expenses and really be conscious about why you're approving this expense and if this can wait, right? So is it truly mandatory to have it right now, or can you do it later? Try to preserve your cash. And understand the direct relations between billing and collection. So you can bill $5 million today, but you don't have a penny in the bank because you have the payment terms. So the fact that you are working and eventually you're going to bill it, but they pay you at 60 days. So understand that that cash will come to you in 60 days. And you have to figure out how to manage your business the 60 days while you're waiting for that money. So billing doesn't mean cash in the bank. So understand also the frequency of your invoices. Some people on some businesses bill part at the beginning, part in the middle, and part at the end. Some people, some businesses bill one part every month. Some people, so understand from a cash point of view, cash flow point of view, when that invoice will be issued, and that helps you determine when that cash will come to you 30, 60, or 90 days later. Check the level of loans and debt that you have in your company. Most companies have loans. I want to make sure that you have a list of all the loans that you have, how many payments are left, what is the balance that you owe, and what is the interest rate that you pay. You will be surprised how many people, when I sit and do this with them, they tell me, I had no clue. I had loans from 3% to 25%. So once if this is a loan that you did you signed 3 or 4 years ago, you will forget the interest rate. If you don't look at it, you will. I see numbers all day long and you forget. So please have a list when you say, I owe this money. This is loan 1, 2, 3, 4. This is with this bank or institution, and this is the interest rate. Because that allows you to make executive decision if you have some extra cash right now, which loan you might want to pay first, because then you reduce the income, the interest rate that you're paying, okay? There are different cases, but this is a general recommendation. And if you cannot pay, okay, this is right now, but you're gonna get the money, the $1 million in 30 days. Well, call your vendors. Don't hide behind the phone and tell them, listen, I want to pay you. I don't have the money right now, but I will have the money in this date, and I will pay you. I can give you X right now as a good faith, and I will give you the rest. And negotiate. People are helping people right now. I haven't heard of anybody saying, oh, sorry, you're out of luck, you have to, whatever, right? Nothing is happening like that. So don't hide behind, contact your lenders, tell them what is appropriate to tell them about your particular situation, and fulfill your obligations as soon as you can. Develop multiple revenue streams. This is key issue. You know, when we talk about when people talk about investing in stocks and stock market, and they talk about diversity, you invest in different countries and different sizes. The same with the revenue of your company. If you have one product, one market, one package, and that is not going well, then where are you going to get more money? So try to see if you can have different sources of revenue stream, and they have opposite forces. So something that you can complement your business with. So let's imagine you are in landscaping business, right? Or in the AC business. So you can do the installations, and you can also do the maintenance, and you can do something else related to in the same industry. And make sure your different sources of revenue or your different products and services are profitable independently. So this is one of the things I find when I analyze companies. So let's say you have two very simple example. Let's say you have a restaurant or cafeteria, coffee shop, and you sell two products, coffee and tea. So I go to the owner and I said, okay, how is your business doing? Oh, I'm doing great. Made $100,000. My margin is 20%. I said, phenomenal. Now, what products do you sell? Coffee and tea. So tell me how much your coffee is making and tell me how much your tea is making. Well, I don't know, I'm making 20%. Well, now we're gonna do, I'm gonna isolate them. I'm gonna analyze the coffee and I'm gonna analyze the tea. So at the end of the day, this is not a real example, this is just for illustration. The tea is making 1% profit and the coffee is making 30% profit. So what is happening is the average of the two are giving you that 20%, hypothetical 20%, but each one of them, if I break them apart, one is being super profitable and the other is almost breaking even. So it's important when you analyze these, you analyze them separate, because maybe it's time to shut down the tea service and go more towards coffee and whatever other elements that can make the sale of the coffee, let's say coffee and croissants or whatever, go high, right? Because then your average is going to go now from 20 to 30, and all you have done is cancel one product that was not profitable. In addition to the financial reports, we talked a little bit earlier about budgets and forecasts. This is key. This is like the GPS of your firm. I no longer drive without almost a GPS. I know how to go back home, but besides that, the GPS tells me, even if I know the route, it's telling me now where the traffic is. So I know how to get to the Galleria, but maybe, Westheimer is terrible right now, and I take San Felipe. So the same with you, the budget is your GPS. You can get to your destination in the same way, but whatever assumptions you had last October and November for your budget for this year, good news is you had a budget, bad news, your assumptions are no longer valid and your budget is obsolete. Because so much that we could have never thought it will happen to us has happened to us. So I challenge all of you to pull out of the dusty drawer the budget and review your assumptions, and you're gonna go, wow, my assumption was that I was gonna close these 3 contracts in April. Well, forget about that. And that I was gonna go to this convention, forget about that. And you start going over, sit down with that budget again and reevaluate your assumptions and make them realistic. It is what it is. What happened. Now we just need to move forward, right? And what the rest of the year realistically might look like. Why is this important? You need to forecast your manpower. You need to forecast your capital needs. You need to be realistic with your employees. Maybe you can switch your employees in a different way so you can preserve them with you. So it basically allows you to make plans under a good base. And if I talk into construction terms, this is your foundation. You can have a beautiful roof, a terrible foundation. It's not going to be a good outcome, right? In addition to the financial management reports, I mentioned there were 3. I'm going to test you at the end of the session. So profit and loss, balance sheet, and cash flow. You also have management reports that you can pull out of your system. Whatever system you use to control your operations, your project manager, your construction, they will help you with what are the sales by customers? What if you have a QuickBooks or an accounting system like that? I want to know accounts receivable. Who owes me money? How much and when? I need to know accounts payable. How much money I owe to other people and how I can put them together. I need to know how much I have been buying from one particular supplier. What are my top 10 suppliers? And sometimes you start with a supplier and you start with buying 10 units, 10 millions, 10,000, whatever. And throughout the time, you really don't realize that you have gone from 10 to 500 because the vendor was good. And now when you look at this report, you go, wow, I'm really buying a lot of money from these people. I need to ask them a discount. I need to ask them for a volume discount. I need to ask them for better payment terms. So there is value to know who are you buying from and how much, and keep that as part of your monthly review. So that gives you a holistic view of where your money is going. Check your inventory. I have found millions and millions of dollars sitting in rooms of inventories of products that are no longer being used, that have expired, that somebody took an opportunity to buy with a 10% discount and they have material for 2-3 years. And that's a cash trap. So take a look as your office manager, your CPA, your accountant, whoever, that you want to see the value of your inventory. Also, if you don't look at the inventory, if maybe sitting outside not properly covered under the rain, and now you're losing money every time it rains, or every time that it's not properly protected with whatever protection is required, or people are taking it one brick at a time, and literally your money is leaking out of in front of you because this inventory is, I see inventory and I see dollar signs, you know. So protect your inventory, see how much money sits there. If you have too much, maybe you can, you know, sell it. If you need, that's a way to get some cash here. Maybe not the price you bought it, but just know how much you have. And if you're gonna use it all, make sure it's properly protected, properly controlled, lock under key, whatever you need to do, because those are, treat them as a sack of money, if that's where your money sits. And finally, review your packages, your prices, so in your services. So maybe somebody cannot right now change the, you know, all the windows of the house, but right now maybe somebody can start with 2 windows and then they do more, or maybe you create packages of services that can be sold to people that are also trying to preserve their own cash at this time. Never forget, never stop delivering value to your client. For example, we cannot meet in person, but right now, hopefully this meeting will add value to you. So we look at an alternative platform in which to give you value, even if we cannot shake hands or see each other and meet each other in person. So simplicity sometimes is the key. I love the fact that people are wearing, you know, your hat, that we're relaxed, that we are not wearing suits. Simplicity, we're just talking about the message. Your products have to be simple. In a time that health is #1 concern, family is the #1 concern, we don't have time for sophisticated solutions. Whatever is simple, I need to go to the grocery store, buy my food, get out of there. And if they're gonna deliver it to my house, it needs to be simple. So review your products and services and make sure if they are highly complicated, maybe you develop a product that can be used and sold now during this time. Build a strong relationship with your clients, friends, potentials, and don't call and ask for business, just call and ask and see how they are doing. I have talked to people and sometimes they need a contact person, and you know somebody who knows somebody. Sometimes it's just, you know, they need to have a guy's talk. Sometimes it's just, I have a question of where to buy this. Just be present with your clients. Just make a round of friendly calls in the morning with your cup of coffee. How are you doing and how can I help you goes a long, long way. With your vendors are important because behind our companies, we are people, we have families, and we're all trying to do the best that we can now. Review processes that are too convoluted, make it simple at this time. Review your ability to have a flexible workforce. This is key for construction, right? So if you have in your administrative office a team of 10, 20 people that are your office staff, and your business has gone down a little bit but will continue later, well, maybe you can split. You don't, if you can not let them go, maybe some people work 3 days, and other people work 3 days. Maybe a group of people work in the morning and other people work in the evening. So see that you can scale up and down with your workforce. Maybe you just need to have contractors instead, or temps for a while, or maybe you can keep your older employees, the people that have been with you the longest, and then you just see what kind of mix is right for you in your business. Education, education, education. You are subject matter experts in what you do. I'm sure you are the best that Houston has to offer, but there's always other areas. In my case, my challenge is IT. All technical aspects, I have to always keep learning. It takes double the time for me to learn that. For some people, may be legal. Some people will be finance. Some people will be HR. So don't stop learning. Learning doesn't have age. And in this time, this is a valuable asset. So you always wanted to get another certification. This is the time. You always wanted to learn how to do PowerPoint better. This is the time. You wanted to learn how to handle the project management software better. Well, now. So take advantage of the time. And be aware, please, that there are financial scams. I will tell you that maybe 2 or 3 times a week, I have clients calling me, telling me that they have received an email from the IRS, from QuickBooks, from this and that. I cannot believe. And when I see the emails, they look real. So be very, very aware that it's happened, that people are receiving emails from companies, Amazon, that are not real. If it doesn't look real, if the number doesn't look like the regular 1-800 number you have for customer service in Amazon or QuickBooks or whatever, it's not. Delete it and report it. But there are financial scams. Be aware of that. If you're not sure, check with somebody else, or you call the number that you had before and see if this is real. And access the community resources. There are plenty. There's a lot of resources, you know, a SCORE, an XCC, and Office of Business Opportunity. There is plenty of resources for all of us. I wanted to make a point here that all of the business should have bookkeeping, CPA, and taxes. So we need to split things. A lot of the people, businesses, think of money and finance and think in taxes. That is one way, and it's true. But when you are in tune with your numbers, it's important that you are thinking of the taxes next year. But the main reason why you have to have bookkeeping organized, up to date, every month is because you deserve it. Because you needed to make the executive strategic business decisions in your business. That has nothing to do with unconcerned. You need to do it in January, you need to do it in February, March, April, August, September, October. If you wait until March, April, you lost 13 months of opportunities to adjust what you were doing wrong, or to do correctly what you were doing right. So you need to have a bookkeeper, which is the person who records the transactions. You need to have a CPA, which is the expert certified person who tells you all the changes in the tax law and helps you minimize it within the law. But you also have to have a CFO, or a CFO on demand, or a financial consultant, or if you know how to do it yourself. So there are 2 sides to this equation. Surround yourself with highly qualified professionals This is not an expense. This is an investment, the same as a lawyer. A good lawyer would just give you the advice. People go 20, 25 years to school. There's a reason for that. So don't do it by yourself. Don't ask your neighbor. Don't ask your family member. Well, if they are a lawyer, you can ask them. But always check with qualified, certified professionals. It's worth it, the time and headaches that are going to avoid, they're going to help you prevent. So we talked earlier about the budget. See, now, if you have never done a budget, you hate budgets, you don't like numbers, okay, this is the simplest that I can give it to you. So revenue is your sales. So you calculate how many units you're going to sell, how many contracts you're going to sell, how much money you think you will sell in whatever form, shape that you have, products, services, etc. You deduct the direct operating expenses. What is that? That is the money that you need to spend in order to produce that service. So, for example, in the example of the coffee, every cup of coffee, let's say, is $2. And the coffee beans, the water, the sugar, the cream will be the direct operating expenses. It's anything that I need to produce the product that I'm selling. So if the revenue is 100 and the direct operating expenses are 40, I have 60 left, and those 60 are the gross profit. But after that, you have an office, you have a desk, you have air conditioner, you have to pay rent, you sell your car, your gas, your uniform, etc., etc., etc. Things that are not attached to the cup of coffee, but are needed to have the place in which the coffee is sold. That is the indirect expenses. So when you had 40, but then you pay your salaries, you pay AC, utilities, rent, blah, 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 all the list, let's say those are 50. So at the end, your net income is the 10 that is left after you subtract all the expenses that you're selling. If you can take a picture of this slide, I will send the slide to all of you later. So you can, if you cannot sleep later, you can go over these and remember. But build your own budget, even if it's with Post-it notes against the wall. You don't have to have a fancy system. Just start with something. This will help you. Financial statements. Okay. So we talked earlier and we said there are 3 financial statements. Why 3 and what do they do for you, and why not 1, and why cannot people make our life easier? There are 3 and I will help you. These are reports that allow you to see money in different ways, where it came from, where it went, and where it's now. So, okay. This is the shortest I could find. 2 tips on every financial statement. So what is a balance sheet? Basically show us if the company is financially healthy. It tells us the business net worth. So how much you have. So it tells us the assets. So here we have with a new word. So assets, everything that you own. For example, you own the balance of your checking account. You own the balance of your savings account. You own your investment, your CDs. But you also own the accounts receivables that are going to come to you next month. Maybe you don't have it now, but you should have it. So all of those are assets or what you own. And then you subtract what you owe. What is it you owe? So you have a loan with SBA that you owe. It's a liability because you have to pay them later. So if you have 100 in money that you owe in the bank, and then you have 50 in money that you owe, when what you have left is what is left is the owner's equity, which is the 50. So you don't own, your equity is not 100. Your equity is 100 minus what you own, minus what you owe. What is left, And that is what you can see in your balance sheet. That is what banks want to see when they want to give you a line of credit. That is what they're going to ask when you apply for SBA loans or PPPs. They want to see how much money you have, how much money you owe, and they evaluate your credit worthiness and the financial health of your business based on this statement. So start getting familiar, put it in the monthly package, take a look, ask the questions, and then with time, you will familiarize with your balances, and you will not from the top of my head, I said, oh, I know how much I have. I have this, plus this, plus this, plus this, and you will come close. The second financial statement is an income statement of profit and loss, or P&L. People call it different ways. This report measures the profitability of your business, not the cash flow. There's always questions about why my profits is not equal to my cash. This measures your profitability. In the example of the cup of coffee, if I sell the coffee at $2 and my cost to produce it is $1, then my profits is $1. So that is, in a very simplistic way, what an income statement is. So if I sell 100, I pay 60 for expenses, I'm left with 40. That is your profit, and that is what you're going to see. Is the summary of the company's revenue and expenses in a month, quarter, year, whatever period you want to give it. The third and last one, stay with me because that we're almost done here, is it shows how you're using your hard-earned cash. So it shows where you cash that you're collecting, where it's going. So is it going to operation of the business? Is going into investing, or is it going into financing activities? So a healthy operating cash flow, it helps you prove that you're growing internally. So cash is going to either you are using it to work the business, you're using to invest somewhere, and you are using the cash to finance your own activities, to pay for your interest, etc. So when you take a look, each one of these sections has a net balance. So take a look at the next balance, if it's positive or negative, and then we go from there, right? So those are the three. This is the hardest part of the. So financial management. So I said earlier that yes, we have to look at the numbers because income tax is one aspect. But the second part, the part I'm here for, the part that you as business owner, as CEO of your company, you need to ask, why do I need this? What is the effect? What is in here for me, right? So here, when you have in your folder every month your income statement, your balance sheet, your cash flow, and your budget, you, number one, it helps you analyze the numbers so your company can reach the full potential that it has. Increasing your profit and productivity. You're gonna look, you're gonna find problems, you're gonna resolve the problems, and you're gonna increase and improve your efficiencies. That is the reason why financial management is an investment and not an expense. You don't have the money not to have it, because you could be, if you ignore the numbers, you're going to be losing opportunities, and they have a price. You need to evaluate your financial statements and management reports so you know how you're performing every single month. So you can make strategic decisions for your business and your finance. If one month you did great and the following month you did terrible, you need to know the why. And the why, it's not, sometimes it's not a sentence, it's a multiple things that happen at the same time. But you need to analyze, write it down and say, okay, this didn't go right last month. And I don't want that to happen again, so we're gonna make some changes next month and we're gonna try. Let's see if that works. Maybe it works 50%. Okay, the following month, we're gonna make another changes. And this is the life of a business owner. This is the life of a CEO. You constantly are evaluating and adjusting and making decisions to maximize the value of your company. So financial management helps you develop strategies and plans that support those strategies. So let's say one product is working for you and you want to put more money into that product, and you would want to hire more salespeople that sell that product, and you want to invest in training. So in 6 months, all your workforce it's prepared to be the best that we have in that one. So knowing that that helps, that is working, allows you to say, you know what, with confidence, I'm going to put X amount of money in training, I'm going to build this building, I'm going to do ABC, because I see that in 3 and 6 months in a year, that is going to work, and that is going to be my niche, and that's where my money is going to come from. So allows you to deliver short and long-term strategies to meet the financial goals that you have in your head. Also, looking at the financial management reports allows you to, now you're talking about all of this, why this number here, why this number there. Now allows you to determine the best key performance indicators for your industry and your company, and allows them to be put into scorecards or summaries. And so every month you analyze these and make changes so you can improve the performance and achieve your goals. So KPIs, for example, let's use the same coffee example. I want to sell 100 cups of coffee a day. And I know every employee can sell 50. So if I want to sell 150 cups of coffee, and I know the ratio of coffee to people, now I know clearly that I need a third person. So KPIs are indicators by industry that allows you to know how in ratios your business is working. And there are specific predetermined KPIs for each industry. So for example, how many, I'm gonna guess here, and this is not my area, but how much square footage a person can build in one day, or how many meters a person can paint in one day, and that allows you to calculate your workforce. So it's important, and that could be another session or another chart with your KPIs. You know, what are the KPIs for your industry and how to manage, right? But for now, all I'm gonna say is that, you know, if you have never used key performance indicators, it's a good time to start asking around which are the ones that will benefit your company. And they can be, we start first with the ones that we can measure, the tangibles, and then we go with the intangibles, such as quality, etc., right? We go with those. Finally, and this is the last slide, I don't know how I'm doing with the time. So what are the benefits of financial management? So financial management, it gives you the tools to design the course of action of your company. And if it's like the GPS example, you know, going to the Galleria, you can use multiple streets, allows you to adjust. If 610 is closed, you take a detour. You're still going to the Galleria, right? Adjust your direction when needed, and helps you find different ways to overcome difficulties in challenging times. It's the core foundation of reaching your financial goals, because you're going to be making really sound business decisions, not only instinct decisions. We are past the time that we can have informal companies handle just our gut feeling, our instinct of what our past management used to do, because those things work in the past. You are in a season where all business financial decisions need to be made based on data. And once you have all the data elements in front of you, then your wisdom and your experience comes into place, because you can see that experience adds value, but that value comes on top of the numbers. helps you decide what products and services on markets are profitable. If you know that your company is making 20%, but you do not know what product is making that and what is the profit per product, per segment, per department, then you're losing money. I'm telling you up front, because 120 can be phenomenal and you could have been at 20% the last 5 years, but you don't know that there's one department that is doing one product that is doing 5%, 1% and going down, and you don't see it because you don't isolate the analysis of this one particular product. So financial management is key to allow you to isolate each one of them. You can be making more money in commercial construction, less money in residential, or vice versa. And you can be making money in houses from $500,000 and up, but you may be losing money in. So you need to have this analysis in different aspects, so you know what your sweet spot is profit-wise, and stick to that niche that is working for you. Also supports the decision of what you can afford. This is key. Our reality is our reality. And yes, you could buy this, that, and that could make you wonderful and better, but maybe it's not the time for you. So it brings you down to earth in a very realistic way. This is how much you have. This is what you would like. Can you afford it, yes or no? And if you can't, then you need to build a strategy. How can you afford this beautiful piece of equipment or a building or whatever you want to have for your business, but you don't have it now? So it puts you back on earth, right? It's 1 + 1, and then use that information to be creative around how can you afford this if you really want it. This is very important. We are a society that work really long hours. And now a lot of us have seen the difference when we have to spend some time at home with our families. All of us. If I can choose between working and enjoying a Saturday or reading a book, I'm telling you, I will do anything that I can maximize to have or go fishing or go golfing or go play tennis or whatever you do that you love, or go hunting, right? So maximize your working time, because you are not working that Saturday, that Sunday, doing your bookkeeping, doing yourself things that you shouldn't be doing. So you need to be, when you're working, you need to be working. When you're at home, you need to be at home when you're with your hobbies. Maximize your personal and professional times. Helps you increment your profit and productivity of your company, reduces your costs, and improve your processes. And things go smooth. And it is your responsibility to keep your financial records clean, documented, so you can support your filing of the taxes. You are the ultimate responsible. Your CPA is somebody who does it for you. But if you cannot produce the backup, she or he is not going to be in trouble. It's you. So you better have it organized. And if I don't want to hear anyone who has not paid taxes in 5 years, because they give me a headache and a big headache, and I see things that I shouldn't see. And you need to pay your taxes on time. Liberate yourself from hell. Be organized. Be on time. Hire somebody to do it for you. It is the best relief that you can feel in your chest. Now it's done. Over. Professional. Bye. Next. And I want to close my presentation saying what Albert Einstein said: in the middle of every difficulty lies an opportunity. So let's stay positive. Let's keep looking for business, see where more business can be for you. Maybe you have to adapt, but your mission is turn this challenge into a great opportunity for you and your family. And thank you so much for listening and learning and making notes. And I sincerely hope that this helps each one of you. And never forget that financial knowledge gives you freedom. Don't give that power away to anyone. So know your numbers. I'm Soledad Tanner, founder and CEO of STC Consulting. Follow me in social media and call me if I can help you in any way. Thank you so much.
So I guess I'll clap, but everybody, very still, I see everybody clapping, can't unmute everybody, but Soledad, thank you very much. I mean, that was loaded. That was a great presentation. I certainly really appreciate it. And it was there. I told our folks, let me open the chat box here. I don't know where it went. I had a second screen here. I know that I asked everybody to type in some questions. And I know that some been popping up. Anybody got a question, please, you can type in the chat box, so that I know. And also, I'll try to keep this interactive. So I'll, let me see here. I'll read the question, but I don't want to misinterpret anything. So if the person that asked it is still here, they can, put themselves out of mute. But so I'll start with the first one. Are you ready, Soledad? Anything else, or get into
that?
Awesome. So let me see here. I have a question from Jan, and she says, I have been told that I should use the bank's money and not my own. I don't want the additional expense of interest. Why should I do that?
There's an opportunity cost, right? So the bank has bigger capacity to help more. Maybe this person has big capacity, right? But the banks has big capacity, and the interest rate that you pay the bank for giving you the money, it should be factored into your profit model, right? Into your modeling. So with your money, you can use your money after you have done 1, 2, 3, 4, meaning you need to have your emergency fund for your family, you need to have your personal side in order, then you need to have appropriate working capital, and if there is money left and you really have nothing to do with this money, and then you can use it so you have bigger profit. But in general, most of us, we are better off using the money correctly from the bank at the right time and build. That's why it's important to build a relationship with our bankers so they know what we are about, they know what we're doing, and build credit history early enough in our. So I see a lot of businesses that still have problems depositing their money in the banks, still doing the old-fashioned way. I see a lot of people that give loans among family members, so they don't trust the bank. The bank is way bigger, and they really can help you scale up your business faster.
Absolutely. I agree with that. And I've seen it go both ways. It'd be a good thing and a bad thing. And so it goes back to like you were saying, financial management. I mean, yeah, if you're going to go to a bank and you're going to, like I said, if you want to use the bank's money to make money, you better have, all your financial ducks in a row. And you need to understand your operation very, very well and factor in and know that yes, that you can make that money, the interest, and keep money for yourself. Otherwise, you're going to be getting yourself into bigger trouble. I mean, you're just asking for so what I would recommend anybody, I mean, yes, if they understand what they do, but certainty does not exist. So you just got to realize that, things can go south, and then, you're going to be stuck with a bill, and you're going to have to deal with a bank. So it's a matter of independence also for the individual, understanding, but banks are there to help us grow. That's for sure. And there's a lot of opportunities for us contractors, a lot of contracts if you do good work. Believe me, you'll get opportunities. I've seen it where people have a hard time borrowing money, but sometimes I see good contractors being chased by bankers because they want to lend them money. The bankers, they want to make money, and they're looking for good solid companies to lend money to, because so if you have a good solid track record, I mean it'll be the opposite. So it's a double-edged sword, and you just need to understand it. That's what I will add my little 2 cents there. I'm sorry. But let me make sure here. So Ruben. And,
yeah, I got a question. Yeah, sure. So thanks, Roger. First off, Soledad, thank you very much for a great presentation. I've seen the comments here from a lot of the participants that they really enjoyed it, and it's in a very timely manner in our situation that we are currently in. So you mentioned about reevaluating your budget plan. How often should we review or evaluate our budget plan? Second part, what type of events should we take into consideration to reevaluate our budget plan?
What type of event? I don't understand the second question. Say that again.
What type of event, what type of economic event, or what kind of business
okay.
event?
Okay.
That's what I mean.
So I think the budget is done once a year. So you get your categories, right? But then you need to check it every month. So if, let's say we have January, let's say have first quarter result, March Q1, right? And we put the results, and next to it, I like to put the budget. So I see, okay, I budgeted to reach 100. I have done 105. Hey, I have done 5 more than I thought. Should I readjust the rest of the year based on this beautiful positive trend? Or no, you know what, I'm gonna stay with my original budget because I see A, B, C, D, which you're in the market. You see now, you're feeling these are assumptions from last year. And I said, no, you know what, I'm gonna keep it as it is. I'm gonna wait another quarter to see if this is good or bad. So I recommend to see it every month, but only really readjust it every quarter. Because more work, it's just monthly results. 3 months is a good base to see if we have a trend. And economic things that happen, well, the economy, it's going to, the construction, the state of the economy of a city, the projects is going to determine your potential revenues, right? And your products. So I suggest to keep a close eye of economic development. So for example, the Houston Partnership puts a monthly report where in a very short way it says construction is up, car sales is down, houses are up, etc., etc. So you have a key concept of the economy now and the projections of the future. That helps you incorporate that into the budget.
Awesome. Thank you.
Did I answer the question? No. Okay.
All right, let me see here. Anybody wants to get off mute or ask a question? Soledad, do you see the chat box?
Yes, I'm going to right now. I put it, yes.
Okay. Yeah, make sure I'm reading. I mean, this, you know, there's tons of praise here.
Thank you. Thank you. I see Wesley and Kathy. Thank you. Karen.
Okay. Let me see. Leo McKelvey, did she leave? I know that with Manhattan Construction was here. She just said she has to jump. But Leo, if you're still there, you want to share some words with us, some projects or anything? Let me see here.
Y si quieren hacerla en español también, ¿ah?
Preguntas en español se aceptan. Muy bien, claro que sí.
If you want to do it in Spanish, also. Spanish is obviously my first language.
Leo?
McKelvey? I wish I could do it in Spanish. Just wish I could. Let me get the video. How are you guys? That was a great presentation, but I do want to let you guys know to be on the lookout for announcements from us. We're going to start to bid out our project at the A-Leaf Community Center. So that's my alarm for my 1 o'clock. But for the A-Leaf Community Center, we'll have that start those packages out, and I'll get that over to you, Abel, to make sure that the NAMC membership is aware and ready to bid and win for those projects. So that's what I got.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Leo, thank you very much. Yeah, we'll be able to look at, like I said, with Manhattan Construction, stayed active. I know that we sent some opportunities about the A-Leaf Center, and I'm looking forward to that email. Thank you very much. I also see that Viridiana Salinas with Highway 288, I know she's also connected, and maybe she wants to share some words with us.
As you're looking for that, there's a thought I thought to share with all of you. During the last 6 weeks or so, since the PPP and the disaster loan became federal rules, a lot of people did not have their finance in order. a lot of people, and it pains me to see that the people that had it in order were able to apply quickly the first day and receive their money immediately or as soon as possible, while the people that were struggling to just beginning to put together their financials from last year had to just scramble to put it together, and they applied at the end or never. That's another reason why, if that is not reason enough, you should have, if I didn't build my case enough why you should have it, I'm giving you another reason why, because many companies lost the opportunity to get the PPP money because they couldn't support the request. So, you know, don't like to get political. The things were there. We could take advantage of them if we needed, and that is the reason why. Hopefully, we never need emergency loans again. But if we needed, people that had their house in order were able to jump.
Mm-hmm. You know, and I heard, I got a lot of that feedback, and I was a little bit lucky, you know, because of the timing. You know, I was kind of getting ready for taxes, so I was, you know, my 2019 accounting was pretty much, you know, fairly up to date. But if this would have occurred at another point of the year, I mean, I would have caught off guard. And obviously, there was this opportunity. So this is a reminder that financial planning is an every year situation. We got to stay on top of our numbers. So that, absolutely, thank you for that. Let me see here, monitor any other questions. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, video, of course I will have to do. Unfortunately, we don't have any current opportunities. All right, I apologize. So yeah, the video with Highway 288, you know, they're keeping busy, but yeah, we're running against time. We're 2 minutes, and everybody's having to go to other occupations. But any Abel, you got any final words? Anything you want to share with us?
Yes, can you hear me okay?
Yes,
go ahead.
Okay, great. Soledad, thank you very much. It was a very detailed presentation. I took a lot of notes, and so hopefully you'll send us some slides. The other thing that I have would be, thank you. The other thing I have is that if you're not an NAMC member, please join. We have many other solutions for you, and we'll be happy to help you. We're excited, and you're exactly right. This is a time for opportunity. We're viewing it as such. We've made a turnaround, and we're online, very online capable. So I ask everyone that wants to learn more to be a team member, join NAMC. You can catch us at director@namctexas.org. And be happy to give you my phone number when you do that. So thanks once again. Thank you, Roger, for a great presentation. Mr. Chair, thanks for attending. And thanks to all the participants here. It's an exciting time. Great information. Thank you.
Absolutely. You know, Ruben had to, I think he put a just quick message that he had to run out as well. So one final time, yes, Soledad, thank you very much. And the question has been asked. I know I put the answer in the chat box here. Soledad, I believe that you will share directly, you will send an email to the members.
Yes. I will wait for you to send me the info, and probably tomorrow I will send all of you my contact information and a PDF version of the PowerPoint, so you can see it and you can remember when you're, okay, what do I have to do? What are my 3 top things I have to do?
Absolutely. So yes, if anybody that registered will, you know, with that email that you register with, that's I will share that with Soledad. So be on the lookout for that. If you got a different email or you use, you know, your kid's email or whatever, go look for it there, or just send an email to director@namctexas.org or info@namctexas.org, and we'll be happy to take care of that. But we look forward to Soledad emailing that to us tomorrow once I share the email addresses, which I will hopefully shortly. Anything else? Once again, thank you very much, Soledad. Thank you all for participating, all of our members. And like I said, if you're not a member, join. As you can see,
there you go, Roger.
By the way, I mean, this information everybody's used to, there's the recording button. So this presentation has been recorded. It's property of Soledad Tanner. I'm sure she will, you know, let us know, but maybe, you know, this information will certainly be available to those who are interested in, you know, contact Soledad, you know, for that. I mean, we can have any additional conversations about that, you know, benefiting for this. So thank you very much. Anything else? Hable ahora, calle para siempre, like they used to say.
Cualquier pregunta, mi teléfono es el 832-998-2136.
All right, and that's 832-998.
2136.
2136. You know, you can practice your Spanish. You know, everybody knows the number. You know, that's good. You know, we got to keep everybody on their toes.
Yes.
You know, that's the thing about us here in NAMC. So, all right. Well, thank you very much. And you guys have a wonderful afternoon. And we'll be in touch. And we'll be having another one a month from now. Our next Lunch and Learn. Same format. Thank you all. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.